Hi, I'm Bob Power with OTC Markets Group, and today we're pleased to be joined by Nikolaj Sorensen, CEO of Orexo, which trades on our OTCQX Best Market under the symbol ORXOY. Nikolaj, welcome to the Market Center.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Thanks for joining us today. Tell us about Orexo, your core technology competencies, and the company's focus on opioid addiction.
So Orexo is a Swedish pharmaceutical company, and our core skill is that we can work with what's called sublingual formulations and nasal formulations, and that's basically how you can improve the absorption of a drug. We've applied that technology into 3 different products which are marketed all over the world. The lead one, however, and the one we really focus on today, is a product called Zubsolv, which is used for treating opioid use disorder. Every day in the US now, more than 50,000 people are relying on Zubsolv for treating their opioid use disorder. And this is really the addiction crisis that we've seen here in the US with opioid epidemic is our big focus moving forward. And we're of course proud of Zubsolv, but I think we're even more proud about what we have in our pipeline and what we can do to help more people survive their opioid use disorder and hopefully grow into an abstinence situation over time. This is our focus and our core skill. And I think the other thing that's important to know Orexo is that Orexo, while we still do R&D, we're actually a profitable company. So we have a very strong balance sheet. We have profitability. Our US operations is profitable, and that allows us to invest a lot of money into both developing new medications, but also to buy other medications which could help people suffering from addiction.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for that overview. You recently communicated that you will develop a digital therapy for treatment of opioid addiction. Can you tell us more about that and your growth strategy in general?
Absolutely. I think this digital therapy is a perfect example of how we work, because we are out there meeting hundreds of physicians in the US every single day. And one thing we have seen, that while the physicians are getting more and they have, by legislation, have been allowed to treat more patients, now you've created a bottleneck somewhere else. To treat patients efficiently for opioid use disorder, it's not enough to have a pharmaceutical. You also need to treat the psychosocial aspect of the disease. And this is where we have found that is a big bottleneck, that we lack therapists. And by developing a digital therapy, which is basically a CBT treatment using your smartphone online, then we can hopefully provide a consistent and high quality treatment on the psychosocial aspects of the disease, while we're also supplying the drug in the shape of Zubsolv for treatment of the more pharmaceutical aspect of the disease. So that is something we see a need in the market. We respond and we develop this digital therapy, which will be a part of our growth strategy, because this is something we expect to sell to the clinics and the insurance companies here in the US. Looking from that, we have our investments in our pipeline, we are, for example, investing heavily into developing new overdose reversal medications. And what people are probably not aware of is that the overdoses today we see in the US is very much due to something called synthetic opioids. They're many times stronger than heroin. So you need much stronger overdose treatment also. That's where we come in. We're developing what we believe would probably be the strongest nasal overdose treatment in the US. That's our ambition. And that's why we believe the growth is. Unfortunately, the opioid epidemic is growing, and there's a more need for treatment than there is supply today.
Congratulations on that progress. We wish you continued success. How has trading in the US public markets and on OTCQX contributed to Orexo's overall investor relations strategy?
So while we're a Swedish company, most of our employees, all of our manufacturing is here in the US. All of our revenues is coming from the US. And of course, looking at the investor base, the US investor base are unfortunately more educated in the opioid epidemic. But to reach out as a Swedish company to the investor base in the US, you need a quality stamp. And that's where the OTCQX market come in. By having a listed ADR, we get a quality stamp that we have delivered on certain criteria. And that is something that people can recognize. Okay, this is a stock that actually has serious ambitions to the US investor market. And we bring that logotype on every single investor meeting we have in the US. And I do think that helps us elevating that we are a serious company and that we are delivering on those quality criteria that you are using.
Well, we're delighted to be the US market for your shares, and we wish you and the company continued success.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.